So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane, it's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. I take shots to the top, I'll get it
a form of art.
I'm never gonna look back, cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change, slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
And to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right.
Hello, millionaire. Short screenplays where fortunes flip. Gamestop's journey, an epic trip. From humble roots to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Ready warriors, keyboards in hand. With their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right, up and to the right. We're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, more asses in sight. Hedge funds trembling, Kenny's in shock. Gamestop stock, you'll never stop. From diamond hands to rocket ships, we're not selling, we buy every dip. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. Up and to the right, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Up and to the right, more asses in sight. Billions in cash on the balance sheet. We will win even if they cheat. Dilute us more, we don't care. Book value grows with every share. The doubters say it can't be done, but the retail army we've already won. With every share we'll never stop. Investors say we love the stock. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, up and to the right. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. Together we'll soar, up and to the right.
Surprise!
We're gonna win.
All right, guys. Happy Tuesday, September 9th. Let me figure out how to get this other thing off the screen. There we go. Mediocre. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, give me a sec here.
I hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I thought it might be fun to just hang out for a couple hours while we wait on the GameStop news. Yes, I did put in the thumbnail Bulls Only, but we are not paper skinned here. Nobody's going to get booted for asking a difficult question or having a different opinion. We don't roll that way here. The market is made up of a lot of different opinions. That's how we get true price discovery. So as we are sitting here, let me pull up the GameStop chart screen. Let's see which screen we got. I think it's this one. There we go. 23.26 GameStop back in the green. It was in the red for a little bit this morning. I'm going to be honest, guys. I was expecting a little bit more of a run up over the past. When did I buy in June? I was expecting a little more of a run up than we got. Let me. Yeah, June 12th is when I bought in, 21.61. We're only at $23. I don't know. Mediocre, what do you think? Why didn't we get this run up to $30?
Just hype. People wanting it to go higher.
I know, but if people wanted it to go higher, shouldn't that drive the price up?
I think didn't it run up a little? It was up over $2, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, yeah, from the low, the day before I bought, the low was 21.54. I got 21.61 for my entry. We're at 23.28. I mean, I'm barely up $1.50. That's not normal.
Where's Warren Kitty?
Oh, I don't know. That is another good poll question, and you guys can. I already have one poll up, but while we're waiting on a few more people to answer that one, who thinks? Let me know in the chat. Do you think Roaring Kitty is still in this trade, or did he move on? Sonny Korax says bad job numbers souring the market. I saw that this morning, Korax. The revision on the job numbers, what was it, like down 900,000 or something ridiculous? Dink says not running is good, hopium at a minimum. That is a good sunny side up way to think about it, I think. Dink. Jeffrey Jones, how you doing, amigo? He says, shouldn't fundamentals be better? Retail earnings have been good so far for other companies. I agree. I've been seeing that too. I've been looking at the other retail companies kind of maybe for some indicators of what we might expect at GameStop. We've done several videos now over the last couple of weeks here talking about what the analysts are expecting for GameStop. I don't know which number. There's two numbers out there. I only know of one analyst. 832 million revenue, 900 million revenue. Those are the two numbers floating around. I don't know who this other mystery analyst is, unless Michael Pachter issued an update. But
I mean, Tony, I'm red in my positions too. Like, I think it's market wide too on top of it. So
in your other tickers?
Yeah.
So you're not just all in on GameStop. You actually diversify, mediocre?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're going to piss some people off, man. You're going to piss some people off. How dare you?
What do you mean?
There's
a lot of good plays.
I'm just teasing. I believe in diversification too, just so we're clear. I'm good at picking trades, mediocre, but I don't think I'm so good that I can just pick one company.
Yeah.
I know there are people that believe that, and that is totally fine. I'm not going to try and talk you out of whatever your conviction is. I just don't think I'm that smart, mediocre.
I feel you there.
I like to spread my risk around. Plus, even if I am smart, even if GameStop was the best thing going out there, we have things called company-specific risk. And, let's say Ryan Cohen gets hit by a bus. Let's say Ryan Cohen decides to step down as CEO. Let's say Ryan Cohen decides to take the company private or sell it. Like, you just never know. I can't think of all of the potential what-if gotchas that could stab me in the back. And if I was only in GameStop and it's bullish news, hey, beautiful. But if it's not bullish news, then I've got all my risk in one basket too. I'll take the market risk, right? I can live with market risk. This is the risk that you can't avoid with a diversified basket, mediocre.
I think that
if the market goes down, everything's going to go down. I'm not worried about that. GameStop's going to be treated the same way as any other ticker. Market goes down, GameStop goes down. Market goes up, GameStop goes up.
I think the tariff thing is a big problem too right now, right? Like, they're still waiting on the Supreme Court.
For the market or for GameStop?
For the tariffs.
You think that's affecting the market as a whole?
I do.
Yeah, I agree. Corex says KView had a nice run today. Corex, did you get in on that Octo run up yesterday? Octo, ticker OCTO, ran yesterday from like $1.50 to $80. Crazy stuff out there. Very low float crypto play. I want to dig into that a little more because I wasn't really watching it yesterday, unfortunately. But I saw some tweets that is some leftover from the Tide, TYDE, which is that. What was that? What did Tide get spun off of? It was another one of those flim flam companies. Someone remind me in the chat. It's slipping my mind, but I got to go do some research on that one. It's just today's not the day for me to do it because I'm all in on GameStop. Dink says you are diversified, mediocre. You're 50-50 on AMC and GameStop. So there you go. GME Squishmallow says I moved 500 to buy packs. That is not only 500 in revenues because with that 500 I can buy and sell and buy. And yeah, the packs, the power packs thing, especially watching people buy packs and then sell them back and then buy more and sell them back. I think that could be, if that behavior keeps up.
Tony,
yeah.
Dink says, but Tony, market crashes equals rocket moon GME.
Yeah, that's not my talking point. I'll leave that to the pumper channels. I have not seen that generally work out. The power pack thing, if people keep up this behavior of buy, sell it back, buy more, sell it back, buy more, sell it back till they run out of money, which inevitably happens for most of them, but some of them get a lucky pull. That will be a great driver for GameStop's revenue in Q3. But they need to get it past beta mode. Like we can't just have 5 YouTubers buying packs. We got to get this out to the masses. So I'm really interested to see how that works. I think it's really smart for GameStop. For you buying packs, hey, make up your own minds. I don't have any.
Tony, I've been buying packs for gifts.
You've been buying. You've been heading out to GameStop to buy Pokemon packs.
I did actually. Yep.
I went to the grocery store this morning, mediocre, right as the market was opening to go buy some more coffee because I was out. Cheers. And they have a Pokemon card machine in the front of the store, mediocre, next to the ATM and the lotto machine. Kind of funny placement. ATM, lotto, Pokemon. And while I was checking out, I saw numerous people walk up to that machine, cycling the buttons, looking at the inventory, but the damn thing was sold out.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon sells. There's no
That's
denying
what I was
that.
thinking. I mean, Pokemon freaking sells. And we're seeing that even from reports on GameStop and people, when I look at the GameStop sub on Reddit, there's still people lining up at stores when they think that the stores are going to have a re-up on inventory. So I'm really excited to find out the collectibles revenue and what percentage of overall revenue collectibles was this quarter. And maybe it gets even better into Q3 with the new Power Packs website. Corex, do you remember, going back to Octo, do you remember what Tide, TYDE, was a spinoff from? It was another one of those social media pump companies. Deke says it's not a crash, it's just a rapid, unplanned disassembly. Mediocre, what are your plays that you're looking at this week?
I'm still in Webull stock, ticker symbol BULL. Actually, thanks to the chat, I'm also in BBAI.
We talked about that one on live stream over the past week or so in the evenings, right? BBAI. That's
Yeah.
Big Bear, right?
Big Bear, yep. And so I did some research on it after
Finco.
the
Yeah.
community was asking about it, and I actually liked it. I like the fact that well, I'll just tell you guys, I'm pretty confident in the fact that they have government contracts with the TSA for facial recognition software.
I like it.
And that's what I like about it.
Speaking of bear, check out Build a Bear also. That chart's been on fire. And I'm not even joking. You guys, look, if you had kids 20 years ago, you know what Build a Bear is. Go look at the damn chart for Build a Bear. BBIG was the one that spun out Octo. Thank you, Dink. Yes, the famous Vinco Ventures. Golly, man, I remember looking at them back in the day at the times we were looking at GTI and all these other failed companies. And we talked about BBIG, Vinco Ventures. I might have even done one video saying this thing's headed to the graveyard. I didn't make too many friends, but for those that had an open mind, my hope is we save people from losing money. And now I'm really interested in looking up and seeing what the story is with Octo, though.
Yeah, that's interesting. We're going to look into that.
Dan Ives, I think, is involved with Octo now. So might be an interesting story, might be an interesting video. I don't have any position in Octo. I like, as you guys know, I like tickers that have the interest of retail, because whether you're long or short, if you follow these tickers that are pumped out on social media, there are opportunities on both sides.
Yeah, you do like those, Tony. That is true. I'm still trading Aspen. I think I like Aspen. The financials on that look all right. So, there's a few things I like.
ASPN, Aspen. The other ticker that you guys have been hearing me talk about is one that you don't usually hear me talking about, mediocre, an OTC stock, Railtown. It trades in Canada under the ticker RAIL, RAIL. OTC in the US, the ticker is RLAIF.
I'm also in that. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, you got in that one today, didn't you?
I did get bought at the low. I was in it before, and I made some money on it, but it was taking too long, and so I sold at a high, took some profit, and then played with the money. But now I'm just like,
and that price you saw today, you couldn't resist getting back in, huh?
Yeah, that was a good price.
43.
It was lower than what I was in last time.
Very good. I do have a position in Railtown too. This is a speculative bet. This is a pre-revenue company, meaning they don't have revenue, which you guys know this puts it in the highest of risk plays. But then you look at management and what is the company doing. And in my video yesterday, I put the links in there for you guys to go look at the management teams of both Railtown and the company they're acquiring, which is AI Partnerships. Find me a better management team.
To be clear, Tony, I want them to understand, like, yeah, I'm in it, but at not a lot of money.
We manage our risk, mediocre. That's the easiest way to say it, right? We're not putting $100,000 in a no revenue company.
Not even close.
I think, I try and go overboard now, mediocre, and talk to people about risk management, because little me, mediocre, back in 2021, thought everybody was using risk management, because I heard Matt and Trey say a million times, don't invest what you can't afford to lose.
Yeah.
Yep, trade after trade, mediocre, I see people crying to Congress, crying to FINRA, crying to attorneys, crying to the courts, because they lost more than they could afford to lose, and they're upset. You guys don't do that. If you feel like you're going to be upset if your position goes to zero, you have put too much into a speculative bet.
That is true.
That's just plain and simple. That's your choice. Don't make those choices if you're not going to be comfortable with them. We love speculating. Mediocre does. I do. We do day trades. We do swing trades. I like value plays for long-term holds, profitable companies, growing revenues, growing profits. But we speculate a lot too. But we manage our position size. And we have you know what else separates us from some people, I think, mediocre? We have the ability to hit the sell button.
Yeah.
And
No,
we
yeah,
use
no
it.
doubt
We're
about
not
that.
afraid to hit the sell button if something didn't work out. Or if we're really convinced about a play, like for example, you with ASPN, if you're really convinced that you did the right DD and maybe the company's just struggling with some bad news, you might try and trade your way out of a downtick in the price with some options selling or buying on some dips.
Yeah.
It is a dangerous game to buy on the dips unless you truly understand the company.
I got beat up in Aspen, you know that. I had to sell and go make other plays to make back some money, But that's the thing. If you don't, for me anyways, I'll just say this. If I'm down, I'm gonna sell so I have something to make my money back with. Because if I don't have nothing, I ain't gonna make no money back. So that's the game, right? You don't win every trade. You gotta know that. And you gotta live to fight another day.
The other thing that kind of goes parallel to that mediocre is, I think it is important to always have some cash on the side because sometimes you fuck up
That's true too.
and you need some cash to bail you out. If you, for example, don't want to hit the sell button, but the company has a good story, then maybe you want to take some of your spare cash and buy some more of that company on a dip, or buy something else, or buy some call options. But you better damn well understand the story of the company and not be telling yourself a fairy tale. Like, good companies have growing revenues. Good companies have growing earnings. It's dangerous. We see people on like BBBY or BBIG or MMTLP. They're speculating in companies which have no revenue or no assets, minimal assets, minimal anything. And the price is falling from a FOMO run up, and they keep buying. But based on what? What are you buying? Why are you keeping on buying? Because your only bet was a short squeeze? That's a very dangerous game. And mediocre, I think we kind of learned that the hard way back in the day with AMC, right? He stepped away for a second. Well,
What was the question, Tony? Sorry.
I said there's a big difference in buying the dip on a company that has revenues, has profits, maybe undergoing some temporary problem, versus a company that has no revenue, had a FOMO run up, and then it's dropping, and people keep on trying to buy the dip. But what are you buying? There's no fundamentals there. You're buying the prayer of a short squeeze coming back. That's a much more dangerous game to buy the dip on.
Absolutely. And the reason why I worked for so long for AMC, though, is because it had a lot of retail momentum behind it. But, that's slowly dying off, I think. Don't you think so?
Well, it worked for AMC for a long time because retail was heavily interested in the play. They had plenty of cash and they had plenty of shares. But we saw the story kind of get worn out as the company ran out of cash into 2023 and ran out of shares.
Yeah.
And then that whole hope for a short squeeze kind of got wrung out of the play. And
we still look at it all the time, right? Like
we look at it differently, though. We look at it as it's a fundamental play, and what is the right timing to get in for fundamentals? I'm not in the play because the timing is not right for me. I gotta see what's on that October proxy.
We still have people in the Discord that are in the play, and I talked to them this week about it, as a matter of fact, and my opinions of it, and we did some math equations and what we thought could be the outcome, right? And so that, I don't know, people need to kind of look into the future a little bit and see what is going to happen or what is likely to happen. That's what I do. I try to do that, right? Because if you're not forward looking, you could get burnt too. I ain't trying to get burnt again.
Yep. I'm going to try something here, mediocre. There is a phone number there on the screen. If you want to join the conversation, tell us about your conviction in GameStop, your thoughts, what you think the outcome is going to be today. GameStop topics only if you decide to call in. Not going to talk about any other tickers if we have callers.
Gus is in the chat. What's up, Gus?
What's up, Gus? I see Dan in the chat, Anya, Dink, all Discord members. Cheers, friends. I haven't tried this call-in phone number thing, mediocre. So if someone calls in, we might have to see if we have any echo or not. Or I might need to do a screen share with audio.
We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, it might take a little bit of tinkering since this is something new. Gus says AMC is for suckers. Oh man, Gus with the harsh talk there.
He is very harsh on AMC. He is very harsh.
I will say, Gus, you know, I think that the box office is going to be better into 2026 and 2027. And AMC could be a good play if you have the right timing. But I can't even categorize how high the risk is ahead of a proxy statement. And for that simple reason, I'm out of the trade until I see what's on the proxy. I have no way of knowing how good or how bad what we might be able to vote on will be.
You guys should head over to my channel on YouTube. I'm going to start coming back. I think I've been talking to Tony about this for a couple weeks now. I've been playing with Webull stock, and I'm thinking I might start doing some videos on Webull. Maybe BBAI, I'm not sure on that one. But, you know, maybe some Aspen videos talking about those stocks and the due diligence I put in. So I'm thinking about kind of coming back. And if you guys want to follow whatever, if you can head over to my channel, sub and check it out. Let me know what you think.
Hello. Hey, who is this? Sufyan. All right. Mediocre. Can you hear him? Can you guys hear him? If
No,
not, I'm going to, you cannot. All right.
No.
Let me do a screen share with audio and see if we can get to where you guys can hear his audio. And then mediocre, you might need to mute your mic. Or no, I might need to mute you.
I can mute. It's no worries.
All right, Sufyan, say something.
Hey, can you hear me?
Give us a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear him. Mediocre, you can hear him now? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you, Sufyan. I'm waiting for someone in the audience to say that they hear you. Waiting. Are we still live? Somebody tell me if you can hear him or not.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Carl says not anymore. Not anymore. You can't hear him.
Well, he wasn't talking.
All right. They can hear you, Sufyan.
All right.
All right. How you doing? What's your question?
Hey, thanks for having me, both of you, on your channel. I really appreciate it. Just wanted to get your thoughts on GME's overall perspective from these stats that I got, actual stats. Those are stats that I haven't made up. So those stats are mainly regarding to the business model, and I'm going to make it brief, but the first one is about 85% of the physical games sales has declined from 2008, which was the peak for physical video game spending.
Yeah.
The second stat is about 7,000 U.S. retail stores have been closed in 2024, highest since 2020. The third stat is video game console shipments have fell 25% year over year. And the last stat that I got is actually one other stat. There's two other stats. One other stat is hardware sales dropped 25% to the lowest February 2020. That's in COVID. And about 15,000 store closures are projected in 2025. So I wanted to hear both of you thoughts on the business model overall. I understand Jamie has a lot of cash in the balance sheet, but I want to hear both of you your thoughts on that.
I've got one other stat to counter your stats, which I don't know if you're considering, but the expectation is that based on the store closures and getting rid of non-profitable locations and foreign locations, that the remaining stores, Sufyan, are all going to be booking a profit despite everything that you just listed. Do you agree or disagree? Are you aware of that?
But to make money, you need to have money, right? So how would you counter 15,000 stores projected to be closed in 2025?
That does not sound correct. 15,000 stores? No.
Not for GameStop, but for the entire video games.
Well, I don't care about other stores closing. We're only talking about GameStop. GameStop had. I mentioned about like as an industry perspective, a business model. Me and you. GameStop is shifting past physical sales, Sufyan. 4,169 stores was the number a year ago. 2,900 based on the most recent count that I have, and I expect that number is going down every month. So, yeah, they might cut their stores by 50% from a year ago. GameStop might, but what they are doing is surgical removal of non-profitable locations to enhance profitability of the remaining locations. That is what they need to do. That's fine. Don't you agree that, I mean, the amount of revenue is irrelevant if you guys are trying to call in. We have someone on the line, so you're gonna have to wait till Sufyan hangs up.
One more thing that I really want to address with you both is I think I found the root of cause of this, and maybe you can explain me if that business model could counter it. But about 89.5% of the entire game sales are now digital. So if you put your CEO hat, how would you counter this threat? 89% of games right now are digital.
I don't disagree with the fact that the industry is shifting to digital gaming. I mean, that's been our concern for years. Mediocre, would you disagree? I mean, or would you agree? That's been our concern with GameStop for years, has been the shift to digital gaming, and how do they pivot out of that?
That's my biggest concern.
So no argument with you, Sufyan, I think, from either one of us.
And I think Amazon plays a big role in the console gaming now.
Okay.
So the answer to your question is, how does management pivot? You know, we don't want them to be the next Blockbuster. How do they pivot out of that? Well, you can look at what they have done. They've made a determined shift towards collectibles. Now, can you build a whole business on Pokemon cards, Sufyan? I think that's a valid question.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate both of your time.
I don't think that Ryan Cohen's just going to sit on his laurels and say our new business is collectible cards. He's building up that cash reserve for a reason, is my belief. And he will deploy that cash for acquisition and investment, a partnership, something, when the moment is right.
But we both agree that the business model is dying, right?
The hardware and physical sales of media gaming is declining. No argument there. But they are pivoting. I mean, did you see the shift in collectibles? It was up 55% year over year on the most recent quarter.
I mean,
Would that even break even the entire store closures and all the stats that I mentioned?
They were, if we take out the non-cash expenses from last quarter, I think that they were operationally profitable.
So
Okay.
I want to add this, Tony. Right. I'm not.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Let's let Mediocre talk for a minute, and then if you want to call in, I'll put the number up there again. Thank you, Sufyan.
Okay.
Thanks, Sufyan. All right. So what I want to say to that, Tony, is, you know, they have all this cash in the balance. They could take that money and buy a company like iBuy or something like that, which manufacturers, well, not manufacturers, they build gaming computers, right? And they can still sell their Xbox hardware, PlayStation hardware, and their games. But the games are going digital. So that's going to affect a lot too. But they can stay in the gaming industry by doing something like that. I don't know what Ryan's plan is. You know, go down the collectibles side of it and work that route as well. I really don't know what his plan is. That's what we're waiting to all see, you know. That's kind of where I stand with it.
All right, I've got another call coming in. Hello. Hey, who is this? All right, Justin, hang on one second. Let me put you on the screen here. And can you guys hear Justin? Okay, go ahead and say hello to the folks, Justin.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We'll find out. There's a couple second delay. We'll find out if they can hear you. And do you have a GameStop question or thought that you want to share?
Yeah, actually, just real quick, have either of you guys ever read the book Blue Ocean Strategy?
I have not.
Okay, the whole idea or the whole premise, it's one of the best books ever, I promise. Like if you were to look it up, it's top ranked across the board. Anyways, in business, a lot of businesses, they perform in what's known as a red ocean, where it's very bloody, lots of competition. And the idea of a blue ocean is pure genius, that you would try to operate in a space where other people are not operating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said that to say this. Ryan Cohen, by far, is one of the better investors on earth, okay? Love him, hate him, I don't care about that. The bottom line is he's just very strong at investing. And so even if this did turn into almost like a hedge fund situation where he's investing for us, that could be way better than majority of types of investments that are out there. But let's not go down that road. Let's say that he identified that there is no single trustworthy worldwide place for all collectible transactions to go through. Meaning, let's say you and I are trading cards, you own a card shop, I fancy myself as a hobbyist. There are some places that you trust and some that you don't. And imagine a world where GME gets a piece of every single transaction, or even just 20% of transactions, because of trustworthiness and also because of accountability, meaning there's an actual company that you could sue to gain, to recover your losses, anyways. And also, one particular card in this world, GME over a 5-year span of time will probably do 5 to 10 to 25 transactions on that exact same card. I love what they're doing. And also with all of these store closures, their overhead at all of the stores that are still open is almost covered by our interest alone, which means that the federal government is basically paying all of our employees at all of our locations.
I have no problem with these store closures that GameStop's doing.
I love them. I love them. I mean, if it's not profitable, just close it.
Yep. And you know, when we compare something like a GameStop to an AMC, GameStop has the benefit of having very short average duration leases, and they have that ability to rapidly close stores compared to, let's say it's 5 years on average their lease, or 4 years for GameStop. AMC's got 15 or 20-year leases. AMC's closing locations too, but they can't be as nimble as a GameStop due to the type of property and the type of lease that go with it. So GameStop's been very decisive, and they've just been throwing the dead weight overboard to lean up the operation. And I have no problem with that.
Well, imagine a world where you want a Michael Jordan rookie card. You will never, ever, ever have a transaction that you trust more on every level, being exactly the quality that they say it is, on-time delivery, than if it was done through GME. But if they build what I think I see them building, they have no competition.
I'm not well versed in the competition of other competitors. I've seen a couple people talk about them, at least one other one, but I don't know the scale of competition.
Well, the biggest one out there is the one that they're working with right now, and that's Collectibles. I forget what they're called.
Their site that has the ability to buy cards online, though, right? Kind of like what Power Packs is.
Yeah, well, actually, we're like late to the party on Power Packs. But that doesn't mean anything when you get the backing of the name that we have, number one, and number two, the billions and billions. We can buy everything we want. Everything we want. And it's a marketplace that can only be determined by people who actually own the cards. Right now, our stock is largely determined by people who don't even own the stock. I'm not going to get into the tinfoil crap, but the bottom line is it's a marketplace where if you're not participating, you have no say-so in the price.
Justin, let me ask you, because you seem like you follow this stuff very closely. What is your perception about, if you recall, the cards you could buy online on GameStop's website used to be like 8,000, 9,000 at any one time, and now it's like 1,700. How are you viewing?
Well, I think it's because they're doing it through I think it's because of PSA. I think that this partnership might now I don't, from a legal standpoint, and this is where I have a disconnect because I'm not an attorney. I don't know if it's more advantageous to keep the companies separate or if it's more advantageous to bring the companies together. And all I'm saying is whatever is more advantageous, they're in position to do both. I'm wondering
if the cards they have on the website declining is because of the transition to Power Pack's website.
That's exactly what it is. And it's the repacking thing or whatever. But you know what? Another thing, oh my gosh, I almost forgot to bring this up to you. Okay, there is an entire market out there. You can look it up on your own time, or if you already know about it, that's great, of vintage unopened video games. This opens the door for GME to stop liquidating unsold video games at our store locations, just hold on to them for a year, and then sell them at these vintage prices, which are sometimes double, triple, 10 times what they sold for a year or two ago. We have the warehouse space to do it. We will have the infrastructure to do it. And so instead of selling the games to get the floor space at our retail locations at a discount and quite possibly taking losses on those, the profit margins on those could skyrocket by holding on to them for a year or two.
I could see that, Justin, if they were smart about which games they stockpile, because you don't want inventory cost going up and then a year later you found out you made bad decisions on what to stockpile in a warehouse. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't agree with you more. But there are companies out there that exclusively do this.
If you have an expert that says, here's what we want to stockpile because our best guess is this one's going to go up in value, I think absolutely.
But they are the ones that we can unload the unruly ones to, because they'll take them. If you look down that road just a little bit, you'll see that I'm not on to what they're gonna do, but I'm on to what they could do.
I have a whole bunch of games that I have packed up in a crate sitting over on my kitchen table. One day I'm going to take GameStop and see what they'll give me for them.
It helps when they're on. The real value is in the fact that they're still packaged.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 boys and we played games. So
I've got 4 children myself.
They're all opened. Unfortunately, they're all used, but I have a feeling I'm only going to get $1 per game if I'm lucky.
Oh no, yeah, and that's another advantage that GME has is we're like the pawn shop that gets the very, very, very best deals ever. Because we don't care if you walk back out of the store with the game, or if you want to give it to us for pennies on the dollar. But to be able to move that into cards, and they haven't even. There's still so much that hasn't opened yet, like basketball, football, hockey. We've got to give this time. But what I'm saying, and what you said just a few minutes ago about a company with growing revenues, this screams growing revenues for minimum 5 years, because all they have to do is add more categories.
Here's how I kind of look at it, Justin. And this is why this quarter is the most excited I've ever been for a GameStop earnings.
Oh, me too. Big time.
Here's what I'm looking at. If GameStop is able to get profitable, then you have solved the problem of operations bleeding out cash. Now you can take your management attention to growing revenue and growing those profits. And,
but we won't know that this time.
Well,
we will not know that this time, but those power packs, especially once it's past the beta.
That's why I use the word speculative still when I talk about GameStop. I know it makes people upset, but we need
I don't care about that.
I know, but there are people that, don't like me using the word speculative. I'm sorry. We need to see several quarters of improving metrics. That's just...
There's a little bit of evidence that we don't normally have with other companies, and that is the Ryan Cohen factor. We can look at what he did with Chewy and how he entered a market that he was destined to lose because it was already cornered by Walmart and Amazon. And he rewrote destiny, and we saw how he did it, so we can at least know what some of his play call tendencies are. Like when a head coach switches football teams or whatever, now we know that that's a coach that likes to pass a lot, or that's a coach that likes to run a lot, and then we can see that kind of play out. And just as one tidbit, you and I, we spoke not on the phone, but about a year ago when I told you that they were a Fortune 500 company, and I was the only one to point that out to you. And I told you, you're the one who taught me, read everything. I don't invest. I don't go to Reddit. I don't go anywhere at all except for SEC filings when I first start looking at a company now. And that's because of you.
I love to hear that.
I'm dead serious, because that's where the market makes its decisions. They don't make their decisions based on how many likes something gets.
If they're going to Reddit, if the market's going to Reddit, they're figuring out what's our chance to short this thing. How much is the hype?
Yeah, there is some of that. There is some foul play here. I'm not completely on board with this is on the up and up. As a for instance, it's highly, highly likely, because you know how with a short sell, you have to return that stock or something that is alike. And so that's why they could cover their FTDs and their shorts with those coins, because they were deemed like securities. Well, with these two most recent cash raises, I believe strongly that they have created something that represents what those shares might be in 7 years and 5 years respectively. But I don't think we're ever gonna, I don't anticipate us turning those into shares. If you do the math, it lines up with exactly what our interest payments are on the cash that we're sitting on. In other words, he found a way to get 5 and 7 years.
There are no interest payments, though.
No, on our cash that we have. No, you're right. It's zero interest. I'm saying that if you look at the 5 year and what we'll owe back, and then you give us $270 million a year, which is roughly what we're getting right now, like 260 or 270 on the cash that we have. What I'm saying is he found a way to get 5 years of interest payments immediately.
Mediocre, what can you hear me, Mediocre?
Yeah, I can hear, but when I talk, when we have somebody on the phone, they hear.
Based on his facial expression, I don't
hear
know.
echo when you're talking to Mediocre. All right,
If you mute the phone, I talk.
Oh yeah, he was actually echoing about a minute and a half before our phone call started. Just as a heads up.
I think
it was really
it's because of the
painful to
screen
hear.
share. It's because of the screen share, which I have to do to get the audio of the phone call.
Okay.
Well, Justin, I appreciate.
Do you have any advice for me? Like, I let you get to know me quite well, because you're awesome at reading between the lines of who human beings are. Is there a place where I can be commended, and maybe a place where I could be corrected?
You mean just my opinion based on talking with
Absolutely,
you for the past 5 minutes?
Of course. No, I'm talking to you like it's just you and me in a room.
Commended and corrected. I would commend you on making the shift to getting your primary data from company filings. That is kind of the cornerstone of my channel now. And we didn't talk about that a lot in the beginning of this channel, because we mostly were talking about short squeeze plays, and short squeeze plays by definition are typically speculative companies with bad financials, right? I thought at the time, Justin, that everybody understood that, but it became...
Well, short squeezes are based on supply and demand.
But
that's
they
exactly
typically
what those
are being shorted, heavily shorted, because the companies are in bad shape. Would you agree?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes
it's just...
Almost
sometimes
always,
they
yeah.
predatorily short IPOs just because of the natural percentages.
But we're talking short squeeze plays. We're talking the ones that retail get
I understand.
behind.
No, I understand that. But once you fall behind on a short play, the way that they DCA is by shorting more, and then by shorting more. That's their DCA.
Without a doubt.
And so it's very easy for them to dig a hole. And it's also somewhat easy for them to conceal. Now, notice I didn't say misreport or lie, but conceal the short interest. As a for instance, if you short a GME coin, that technically doesn't count towards the GME short interest. However, the brokers will still broker a deal using that GME coin, because they swear to God that it's one-to-one covered, whatever. I'm just saying there is some nonsense going on here, but it's not so tinfoil. I think that people can benefit from assuming that they're wrong and researching the other side of things as often as possible.
Yep.
That's what I do.
I think this whole thing that social media has gotten into, of if someone has a different opinion, to call them a shill and block them, is really
No, that's mean. That's just mean behavior. Is what that
it's
is.
detrimental to your own future success, because how can
Well,
you
not
ever
only that.
how can you ever evaluate a play if you're not willing to entertain what the other side is looking at? Because you should constantly be questioning yourself. I do it every
Name a
day in every
community
ticker.
where everyone has the same opinion. If we're going to call ourselves a community, then we have to have different opinions. Name any community in the world, name any team ever where everybody on that team shares the same opinions.
Rarely exists,
It doesn't
except in a
exist.
cult, Justin.
I understand that.
The
This
other
is too cool. Thanks for. Oh no, you go ahead.
Yeah,
You're right.
the
corrective.
to finish my thought. So I was saying we didn't really start off this channel talking about fundamentals because I mistakenly believed that everyone knew short squeeze plays by definition were fundamentally bad companies, and we were only betting on short interest. I came to learn through experience and time, watching a lot of people lose money and then want to blame everybody else, that maybe not everybody understands that short squeeze tickers are fundamentally bad companies that are maybe in need of a transition. So I have gone overboard. Maybe I probably pissed some people off with the amount of times I talk about risk and diversification and read the financials, because it's lacking. That messaging is lacking out there from your brethren, a retail trader just like you. I'm going to remind you about the core things you need to do. It's fun to speculate. It's fun to read Reddit. It's fun, social media, blah, blah, blah. But you must begin with company communications, company documents, company filed financials. So that I commend you on making the shift with that. And then correction. I don't know that if I have any correction for you, Justin. I'll just say that I have maybe a difference of opinion, and I don't have any answers. But I don't know that coins or crypto can be used to provide.
Well, that's how they're cutting down our vol. You would have to admit that the volume is quite low, almost suspiciously low.
Just allow me to finish.
No, you're good.
I don't know that that can be done based on the reading that I've done. I've looked into it a bunch. I haven't found any evidence that they could use a crypto token as a cover for a short. However, there are plenty of ways that they can be short a ticker that you will never know about, right? They could have synthetic shorts with an options position. That's perfectly legal. They could have swaps, which...
I was going to say, the coins are actually put into swaps. Now, they're not taking the coins and just selling the coins short. So for that, you're correct. But what they're doing is a workaround. They're taking the coin, putting it into a swap position, and then entering the short.
There are all sorts of ways you could have a swap to get short exposure to any ticker, and it's perfectly legal, and we will never see it in the short interest.
And that's how you know that it's going on, though, is because of the volume. That's what that is. I'm sitting here like, okay, so you mean to tell me the like, as a for instance, I Google searched GME News today, and the AI on Google popped up saying this is the most anticipated stock earnings release of the day. Now that's Google's AI, doesn't make it true. However, at that point, it was 9:30 Utah time, which is where I live, and there was only 1.7 million in volume. I'm sorry. I've been here way too long. No, there was not only 1.7 million in volume. However, a lot of internalizations can be done. That's perfectly legal. And I'm just talking about how they're doing the internalizations. That's mostly what I'm speaking on. This isn't me. Here's the thing. I am left to guess how they're doing it, but it's pretty obvious that they're doing it.
It's a fascinating topic to consider as you're thinking about investing in these companies. I know I understand a lot of people have their entire thesis built around that. I
love Ryan Cohen. I'm telling you, this thing's gonna. This is a minimum $100 stock.
I'll say, Justin, that all of those other theories that are going on out there, you don't hear me talking about them because I like to talk about stuff I have evidence for. But,
Yeah, that you can confirm.
But
I
the
agree.
fact that those theories exist is interesting to me. And sure, I hope that one day we find out that some of those theories are true. That's just a bonus.
I don't know that we'll ever know.
It's a bonus.
I think that there's a lot of tomfoolery.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go, and I want to hear.
You're too awesome.
I want to hear
Thank you
Mediocre's
so much.
opinion about the tomfoolery.
I do too, actually.
All right. Thank you, Justin.
Okay. Bye.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
Let me turn the screen off. Do you think certain stocks or all stocks are manipulated, or that these big players out there could manipulate or hold down the price? I'm painting with a very broad brush here to give you a lot of room to talk about your thoughts on this topic.
I think whether it's legal shorting, which happens, or, I shouldn't even say illegal shorting. Like there are synthetic shorts. It does happen. Okay. But when your cost of borrow goes extremely high, the price would have to drop a significant amount for them to make money, because the amount of money they're paying out just to borrow the shares to begin with. And I know this because I check the short borrow rate on Thinkorswim on a lot of different stocks. Okay. And I'll give you an example. Just last week, Webull was heavily shorted, and it had a cost of borrow of 14%. We know this because I went and looked. I even did the math and talked to my broker about lending out my shares. Now, why would I lend out my shares on Webull? Because I believe that Webull is a growing company, is going to still grow. So if some dipshit wants to short it, let them short it, right? It's a short. This is the thing. Shorting is a short-term game on a company that has good financials, or that has good growth potential in the future, right? So, yeah, they may short it short-term, but they're going to have to cover, and the price is going to come back. So it is what it is, right? But when you're talking about a company that has bad financials, they're going to hammer that any way they can to drive the price down, because it's overvalued. And that leads back to, the SEC filings, what the company's talking about and all that, right? If the company's telling you they're not financially sound, that they're having financial problems, people are going to bail out of the stock. And I know people will say, "Oh, but we're not selling."
No one's selling, Mediocre.
Somebody is selling.
I talk to people every day that are selling.
It's people are going to protect their position. Not everybody is on the same, strategy that we're going to hold and diamond hand and all this stuff. So you guys got to take that into account, right? That's all I'm saying. Do I think it's possible that there's manipulation in the market? Absolutely. And I could tell you how. For example, Webull had a positive earnings call just last week, and there was bad headlines put out that they missed on EPS and all this. I'm not going to name the website, but websites do that. And then they put out this information and it gets shorted. That type of stuff happens all the time. Is that market manipulation? Absolutely. But you have to, if you understand what you're doing, it takes a lot of risk off the table. That's what I'll say.
I think there's a lot of social media manipulation too, Mediocre. And I don't think this is any surprise to anybody who follows retail stocks, right? They use certain moments in time to encourage you to buy when you probably shouldn't be. And then they use certain moments in time to scare you out and make you sell, like at the lows. The bad news just keeps piling in because they want to accumulate certain tickers at a lower price.
So they'll pump a stock through analyst price targets, things like that, to get people to buy the stock up. They'll drive the price up, overvalue it, and then they'll turn around, they'll sell at the top and drive the price right back down.
Yep.
And then they'll buy in again. It happens.
They'll sell covered calls, or they'll sell calls and short it because they know that the price is way above fair value. And I'm not talking GameStop. I'm talking any ticker that gets a momentum going on it.
Absolutely.
You got to be aware of what they're likely to do as things get far above fair value. Unless it's a Palantir mediocre, unless it's a company which they all want to own for some reason.
Yeah, I know. Like that scares me because it's way overvalued.
Some things I can't explain, like what tickers get favored by the market, and we don't care what the valuation is, just keep buying it. I don't get it sometimes.
I think Nvidia is one of them stocks sometimes.
Yep. They got to have somewhere to put their money. That's kind of how I look at it, mediocre. There's trillions of dollars out there. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
The other thing that I was going to say regarding manipulation, I was going to dovetail off of one of your comments. When something gets far away from fair value, it becomes overvalued in the market's view. Then they start shorting it. I think it is important for us to understand, if the market is saying it's overvalued, there's not going to be a large amount of institutional investors coming in to stop that shorting. They're not going to come in and buy the stock until it's been driven down to fair value,
to under fair value, where they could get it on the cheap.
And that's how these shorts win. When it is overvalued, there's nobody trying to stop them except retail, which just doesn't have the financial power to stop the shorting.
Yeah,
and when it gets shorted down enough, then you kind of see things flatten out, like AMC at $2 or GameStop at 23. Because now you've reached a point where there's people willing to buy it.
That's why when he was talking about supply and demand, right? Like I believe supply and demand is a thing, but they choose. I mean, I hate
that's what I think is kind of manipulative, mediocre. Is we're not driving the price. They are going to fucking drive it to what they think is fair value.
And
is that manipulation? I don't know. I mean, some people would say yes. I just say, welcome to the stock market.
I mean,
you better understand what fair value is.
Tony, Ken Griffin went on he was live and he said exactly that. We want to move the price where we want it to go. He said that. You guys know he said that. And what he meant by that, you can take it however you want, was they're going to use their money to move the stock where they believe it should be at.
And if the big money thinks it's overvalued and they're willing to put their money to short it, and no one else with big money is willing to come in and say, fuck you, then if you're trying to stand in front of that train, you could get run over.
That's the thing.
What's your favorite phrase, mediocre?
I was just going there, Tony. Here's what I will say. You should be the barnacle on the whale. If they want to move the price that way, go with them. They want to move the price this way, go with them.
Or get the fuck out of the way.
Or get out of the way. Because you ain't stopping them with your little bit of money.
Amen.
I mean, I got crushed on Aspen,
because
it was exactly that. And Aspen is, in my opinion, a good company, right? And it took me quite a bit of time to dig out of that hole I put myself in. I'm out, but man, it beat me up.
Yep.
Weeble's moving up right now. It's heading back to 1350.
I'm putting the phone number back up if someone wants to call in. You're welcome to call in now. GameStop questions or, your statement of support, your bullish thesis, your bearish thesis, anybody's welcome. We don't discriminate here. Just be a normal adult human.
Just know that I can't respond while you're live because it'll echo terribly
Yeah.
because of the way it's set up. So I'll just have to talk after.
GameStop currently trading up 10 cents, 23.32. We've got about an hour and 10 minutes till we find out the numbers. Let's put up my spreadsheet here while we're waiting on someone to call in. This is a spreadsheet that I created so I don't have to guess anything. It's got years of GameStop data, and I put in input and output table over here on the left. Let me just unhide this so you can see how far back the data goes. I have data going back to 2016 for GameStop. So I can compare all sorts of metrics. And, basically GameStop comes down to a couple of inputs: revenue, gross margin, SG&A, and now we have the interest rate that they're earning on their cash. So we can put in for a quarter or for a year what we think the revenue is going to be, what we think the gross margin and SG&A will be, and the interest rate. And it will pull data from the spreadsheet with estimates. So for Q2, right now I have 832 million put in. This is just Michael Peck. I don't have any predictions on GameStop. Let's be clear on that. I'm just putting in analyst estimates to see if their earnings per share is the reality. Michael Pachter is saying 832 million. If I use gross margin from last quarter, 34.5%, and SG&A, I put in 27%, but I could make it a little bit higher if I wanted. No, 27% is the same as, no, last quarter was 31%. All right. And 4.25. That still gives me mediocre, almost double Michael Pachter's earnings per share output. 28 cents is what the spreadsheet says. I think he said 16 cents. I don't think that, I think he's using a discounted cash flow model that is not accounting properly for the interest income or the Bitcoin, the non-cash gain, or no, that's not the right word. The unrealized gain from Bitcoin that they're going to have in Q2. So I don't know. I don't know why his number is so low. Even if he's right on revenue, I think he's going to be wrong on total net income and total earnings.
What time's it coming out? 4 o'clock?
Yeah, in about an hour and 10 minutes. If we bump up the revenue to that other number that's floating out there, 900 million, now we have earnings per share. If SG&A is flat at 31%, yeah, 31.14, we'd have earnings per share at 29 cents. That's more than, well, almost double still. The other thing that we were looking at down here in the bottom, if interest rates get cut, what is that going to do to interest income? So,
hang on, I'm checking. Continue on. I'm just checking.
Hello?
Headlines.
Hang on one second, Justin. Hang on.
Yeah, the SPY's recovering.
Can you drop them in the chat, Justin? Mediocre, can you hear him right now? I don't remember if I have audio on or not.
I don't hear him.
All right. Hang on one second, Justin, and I'll bring you on with audio. I want to finish talking about this interest rate just because this will be real quick. So we got 4.25%. Oops, what did I do? Undo. 4.25% on the annual box down here. If we drop it, say 0.5%, you can see on the right, the output, my estimate for the total year interest income would be around 314 million. If we drop interest rates by 0.5%, that is going to drop GameStop's interest income by about 21 million. Not a huge impact. It'll still be very close to 300 million. So if you're curious, yes, interest rates going down would negatively impact GameStop's cash holdings in terms of interest income, but it's not a huge number. As long as they continue to book positive operating income, then I don't think this is a big deal. I'm not too worried about what happens with interest rates. All right, let me stop this screen sharing and I'll bring you on with audio, Justin. Go ahead.
Okay.
You said you had some follow-up questions.
I actually do. It's with what you were covering just a moment ago. Because I try to be very, very well researched. I try to be very, very, very fact oriented. I'm not going to lie to you. You're not somebody I would consider a mentor, but you are a smart voice in the room. And so for that, I respect your input. Now, when you say the big people, the big fish, the big people who move the markets, and basically that excludes us, I kind of wonder the following things that are very, very confirmable. We paid $250,000 for a stapler. It took them 48 hours to get $5 billion at 0%. Yet there's no demand, there's no volume.
You're talking about the convertible bonds they sold?
Yeah, well, that and the stapler. Look at the bids that were on the staplers. And also Roaring Kitty's last YOLO update, he had over $200,000 of things that he had already purchased. And that didn't make the price go up either. But when his live stream started, it went triple.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any.
It's kind of fishy because those are confirmable facts.
I don't have any insightful answers for you about the volume other than I will tell you I watch the volume. Volume is an indicator.
Oh, I do too. It's very important to me. The VWAP tells me a lot when a stock is operating normal instead of viciously.
I will say to address your point about the convertible bonds, there are bond buyers out there in the market, Justin, and they see an opportunity with certain tickers. GameStop's not the only one.
But why would they pay 40% more than what they could just go to the open market and buy it for right now?
They're not buying the shares, Justin. This is a misleading.
No, I understand. I'm talking in the future. I'm talking upon convertibility.
If the fundamentals of GameStop go up and the valuation of GameStop goes up, let's say they do an acquisition or an investment and they dramatically change the earnings and we dramatically revalue fair value and GameStop starts holding over $30, they made a wise investment because
absolutely
they bought these convertible bonds. They've been trading with a volatility strategy where they can make income every day or every week. No matter what the price does, these bondholders are making money. No doubt about it.
But they're usually not at 0%.
They don't. Well, that's the 0% is because of the
desperation to get their hands on shares.
No, that is a false narrative. And how do I know that?
You don't think so?
How do I know that? Because I talk to bond traders.
Oh, I know. Oh,
They
I
don't-
love her.
They don't care about the share price. They literally do not freaking care, because they're going to make money no matter what happens. They don't care about the interest rate either. If the price drives up and they're able to convert, that's a additional profit center for them, Justin. They're happy if it goes up. They're happy if they are able to convert and sell at a profit. But that is not
Right,
the
but retail has a lot of money, and we've confirmed that because of the stapler.
the
It
interest
wasn't
rate.
just that it was
Interest
sold.
rate and the share price, not really. They don't care. And I want you guys.
Oh, okay. I get what you mean.
I
On
want
the
you
bond-
guys. I want you guys to go find bond traders, not in the GameStop play. Go find them on social media. Find your own. I'm not going to do the work for you, because I don't want you to think that, oh, Tony's just having me go talk to someone that's going to tell me what he's. No,
Correct.
Go find your own, do your own work. Stop listening to these knuckleheads on social media and learn about how these bond traders are looking at this. I'm telling you right
in my
now,
mid
they
40s,
don't care
and
about
I
the share
suck at
price.
social media.
They don't
I don't
care
use
about the share
social
price.
media.
They don't care about the interest rate. That's not why they're in the trade. That is a social media talking point to get you to buy the stock from knuckleheads that don't know what they're talking about.
I'm not really into social media. I actually suck at it. The reason that I called is because of what I was telling you. I don't even know how to communicate to you. I would love to shoot a few of your ideas down, have you shoot a few of mine down, and not just on this stock. However, this stock is easily the most undervalued stock in the entire stock market.
Well, I'm going to just throw this out there, Justin. We do have a free Discord. And
well, I don't know. I suck at all of that. I don't even know what that is.
that's the best way to have a conversation. I mean, I do try and respond to tweets and DMs, but there's only so much time I have during the day. I'm in the Discord about 15, 20 hours a day.
Yeah, you did get back to me that one time that I messaged you about my finding at the bottom of
but
the
I can't have
that they were,
I can't have 1,000 people DMing me on Twitter. It just becomes too much. So
Yeah,
I
well-
spend my time with people that are supporting the channel in the Discord.
I want to say before you
Okay,
hang
cool.
this up.
All right, hang
All
on.
right, well, I just thought I would.
Mediocre's got a question. What's that, Mediocre?
All right, so I just want to ask, like, all the people who say it's undervalued, this, that, and the other thing. Like, I'm curious to see what their expectations are. Right? Like, I'm not picking on them or trying to cause a rift. I'm curious. I'm interested to see what they think a fair value of the GameStop would be. Right?
That's a good question. If you think GameStop is undervalued at $23, what is your valuation and what are you basing it off of? Right? That's what you're asking. Mediocre, is that your question?
Yeah, basically.
All right, let me bring Justin back on so y'all can hear him. Justin, you wanted to answer it, and then we're going to move on to another caller.
Okay. Number one, some of this is based on finance. Some of this is on human behavior, because both matter in the stock market. Human behavior after a forward split usually takes the share price back to what people are used to. We've seen it with Google. We've seen it every time a company can forward split. Now, to say that GME is purely speculative, and to know that they have only forward split in their history, they have never reverse split, assuming that they could get back to their forward split price of roughly $100 a share, is not foolhardy. It's actually quite normal. That's what normally happens when a company is strong enough to forward split.
Do you
Ever
think,
since
Justin,
then-
do you think that share price valuation is derived from earnings?
Yeah, well, I was going to get to that. But it's earnings over earnings over earnings. It's a trend of, it's a projection of. As of right
I
now,
would
they
agree
have
with
us
you.
project. As of right
Forward
now, they
earnings, we
have us
call it.
projected. As of now, they have us projected to tomorrow. Any other stock, they have us projected out 5 years.
I agree with you there.
And that's
I agree with you there. And that is a problem with GameStop is the analyst. Well, the problem starts from the company.
no, that's
lack of
that's the
communication.
question I want to ask the analyst. Where the hell do you come up with 1350? I'm dead serious.
Watch my
I would
DCF.
love-
I have the answer for you. Watch my discounted cash flow videos that I did a month ago. The math is right there. It's very understandable. And I made those videos not because I'm trying to convince you the stock should be at 1350. Don't let these knuckleheads.
No, I understand. I'm glad that you made it. I didn't catch it. I didn't know about it.
The reason I made that video.
I will be reviewing that.
The reason I made the video is all the knuckleheads who go on YouTube every day saying, I don't understand how the analysts have a 1350 price target.
Yeah.
It's very easy finance math, discounted cash flow. Doesn't mean you need to agree with it. Doesn't mean you need to agree with the assumptions, but there is 100% a way that you can explain that valuation. I will say that I think that they're being a little bit pessimistic. They're not willing to speculate. They're not willing to give GameStop any speculative value.
Any forward. Yes,
No,
yes,
not.
that's where the disconnect
They
is.
are not, and that could be their mistake.
I agree with you.
That could be their
I
mistake.
agree
and
with you.
fine.
That's where the disconnect in both of our opinions has been. That right there hit the nail on the head. You are also looking at this here, now, today. But usually stocks don't get looked at that way, and especially one strong enough to forward split.
But I'm going to lay
Especially-
I'm going to lay the problem here on GameStop's feet. The lack of management guidance on forward earnings.
Okay. You know what? I'll give you that.
This is the
I'll
problem.
give you that. But
This
he
is
had
the
to
problem.
kick everyone out of the.
You're not going to have
He-
analysts covering this stock if they don't have any fucking clue what the company is going to do. You're just not. And you're not going to have analysts willing to put their reputation on the line with these speculative growth forecasts if they don't know what management guidance is. Who is the
Thank you.
expert? Who is the expert about
Thank
what's
you.
going to happen in the next year at GameStop? GameStop is the expert. Why don't they
Thank
give
you,
any guidance?
because that was valuable. That was high value that I hadn't really considered, because I watched Ryan Cohen kick everybody out. He's just basically like, if you're not with me, you're gone. He even replaced our accounting firm because they're probably shady. Let's just be honest. Where do you think these short sellers get their information? They're in cahoots with a lot of the accounting firms. Now, I'm not saying all short sellers, but let's not pretend there's not some evil ones out there. The evil ones work very closely with these accounting firms. And about a year and a half ago, he kicked them out too. Because we've got good things brewing, and he doesn't want us to get cut off
And that's
before we
perfectly
get there.
fine. That's perfectly fine with me. I
Oh.
just want you guys to understand, if management is not communicating, you cannot then say, I don't understand why no analyst is covering this stock. I don't understand why the analyst won't give it value. Because how are they supposed to give it value when management won't give them a clue about what the plan is? They're not going to risk their reputation. There's no guidance. I think that as soon as Ryan Cohen starts talking about, here's our expectations for the next year, like literally every other company does, you see more people start coming in to cover this stock.
I will definitely, I have to. I have no choice but to give that to you. But you asked me about my valuation, and I told you minimum 100, and I gave you a very quick route to my answer. But the longer route would be to walk you through 5 years of the interest payments, 5 years of having no cash burn. And I'm not talking like you would see on the spreadsheet. I'm talking from location to location to location to location to location. Like if you own 500 lemonade stands, none of them are losing any money at all. We haven't seen that yet, but we're about to for the next 5 years moving forward. We can project that forward. These things.
Last point here, Justin. I have GameStop estimated, let's be generous, at $1 per share annual earnings. to get $100 price target and be using a very generous 30 for the PE ratio, you'd need earnings per share on an annual basis at $3.33. And we're a long way from that. But I do think that as GameStop shows with
Right,
some
you're talking without supply and demand though. Supply and demand had it
about a sustainable price based on how the market.
Oh, okay. No, I get that, but I don't think the only time that it's ever sustained, you might agree, is when it seems like it's being pinned. This isn't really a sustained.
Anything can happen on momentary run-ups. I'm not putting any cap on.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I'm
That's
not
fair.
putting any cap on where things could run. If foam, look at freaking Octo yesterday. It ran from $1.50.
Oh, I know.
Right? Anything. Look, I would love that to happen, but if you want a sustainable price, a valuation, you got to talk to me about your earnings forecast and your PE ratio. I don't want to hear about
another thing.
I don't want to hear about cash on the balance sheet. I don't want to hear about.
Okay, I want to ask you one question and be fair. Be fair. In 5 years, 1 through 10, how likely is it that GME is in the S&P 500?
I haven't heard any plan from Ryan Cohen about what they're going to do with their cash, so I would just be guessing. What evidence do I have to base?
Okay, let's pretend that they do nothing with their cash. They just
then
collect it. They just sit
0% chance they'll be in S&P 500.
0.
No.
Because in 5 years they're going to have a cash hoard of roughly 10 billion.
But they're not doing anything with the cash. No one cares about 4%. There's too many other companies that are actually investing their money.
Do you know what Volition Capital is?
Isn't that Larry Ching's company?
Yes. In fact, had you been like, let's stay on GME, I would be like, yes, but we are on GME. That is Larry Ching's thing. Volition Capital, owned and ran by Larry Ching, all they do is lend capital to successful companies. It's their business model.
Does a successful company build up a huge cash hoard and then do nothing with it, or do they find useful investment?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he has his fingers on the pulse, a lot like what Berkshire Hathaway did with Geico. Geico was not publicly traded, and you had to be somebody like Warren Buffett to even be in the conversation to acquire Geico. We are in the conversation with some really good companies because of Volition Capital.
Quite possible. There's 0 chance I would disagree with that. I hope so. Like I said, Justin, and I'm probably right there with you. My bet on GameStop is on Ryan Cohen. My bet on GameStop is $8.5 billion of
Ryan
cash.
Cohen tomorrow, I would leave.
$8.5 billion of cash is potential. But if you want to see a valuation shift on GameStop, they must invest that money. That's what I would say.
I agree with you.
Like, as investors, you're frustrated that nothing's happening. It's on GameStop to announce something that they're going to do with that cash. They will change the way the market views this when they announce some plan with that cash.
But there is definitely demand, and that was the reason that I called you back. It's confirmable when people are putting $150,000, $200,000 bids on eBay. We know retail has cash for days, number one. Number two, retail's cash regenerates every other Thursday. Roach Capital, which he's not, I don't want to be comparative, but with any human being, I try to sponge the good that I can get, and then I move on. I'm not interested in saying anything bad or building any comparisons, but he once said, retail basically is the biggest hedge fund in the world by far, by like maybe tenfold. And one of the biggest reasons isn't just because we're the tens of millions of people, but because we have nonstop, never-ending, regenerating money coming in. A lot of these people who are betting against us, they are codependent on their assets going up. we receive a couple $1 billion every 2 weeks. So to say that we don't have the money to move this, I think is an old way of thinking.
Justin, have you ever heard?
I think it used to be accurate.
Have you ever heard someone wonder out loud on social media? I know you say you don't watch social media, but have you ever heard someone wonder or tweet, where do they keep finding the money to short these stocks with? Have you ever heard that?
Well,
because I see it out there, and it just
I do too. I do too, but it's because a lot of times they get 10 to 25 times leverage from the central banks.
And they don't need money to short a stock. They make money when
I
they
understand
short a
that.
stock.
Right, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier with those coins. Is that once they build the coins on the 1-for-1, a lot of times they can now use that as an asset to borrow. And once they use that as an asset to borrow, they can sell it short. So there comes a point where the only shares that should exist of a company should be issued by the company itself. You have to be a little weary when this company only has 400 million shares outstanding and we're willing to pay $250,000. We're willing to trade a Rolls Royce for a stapler.
Well, one guy was.
Right.
I don't know much about that guy.
But the bid before that, and the bid before that, and the bid before that.
A lot of
and
people.
Then also look at the 200 million that Roaring Kitty had put into GME when he showed us his YOLO update, and the price didn't even move. That's quite a few shekels.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk with Mediocre about Roaring Kitty for a minute. So
Please
thank
do.
you for your questions again, Justin, and we'll put the phone number
Have
up.
a good day.
If you guys want to join the conversation, I'll put the number up here again in just a second. Mediocre, you and I looked at together a lot of Roaring Kitty's videos, and I watched again his live stream. You know, remember that one where he came on with the headband and the arm sling?
Yeah.
I watched that again
He was all
last week.
beat up.
Yeah, I watched it again last week. If I remember correctly, you and I were surprised to see how high his cost basis was. Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah. It was interesting. Yeah, he was buying. He bought a little at the top. I'd have to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in a while, but I believe you're correct on that.
And the other thing that I remember us all in the Discord having a conversation is why the fuck was he not selling his options while the price is getting whacked?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a topic of conversation about he would have made more money by selling options against his position.
Or no, I mean, just like as the price is getting hammered from Cohen diluting, why wasn't he locking in the profits?
I think we couldn't figure it out. I don't know why he took that beating. I really don't.
Because I think we're more risk averse than he is. Like all of us in our Discord are like, man, I would have been out of that trade. I don't know anyone in our Discord that said I would have just kept holding.
Well, we were talking about how much money he could have made.
I know.
We were doing math on what he owned for shares and what he would have made just by selling options, right?
I had sold the night before half my position at $60, and then when Cohen announced that dilution and the price started tanking, I got out with the remainder of my position at what do I have here? $48.
Yeah.
$48 on the 7th. And I don't know. But what I was going to say about that Roaring Kitty live stream that I watched again last week, the thing that I really respect about him, Mediocre, compared to the knuckleheads that we have left covering GameStop now, is that he said even in that live stream, there's going to be a lot of debate. There's going to be a lot of discussion. He didn't say, if you have a different opinion, you're a shill and I'm going to block you.
No.
This guy, I respect him a lot, Keith Gill.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him.
He has his conviction, but he recognizes that there are different opinions and different ways that people might value the stock, or different opinions about the direction that the company is going to go. And he was going to continue to do his analysis on how things played out. but he never said, if you disagree with me, I'm going to block you.
No. The other thing about him is he was fundamentally sound and went over financials and stuff like that in the very, very, very beginning, right? And I don't know what changed the last time he was around when I'm not sure what his end goal was there. You know what I mean? It was strange to me why he re-entered and came back. You know, I'm not. I don't want to say he came back to pump. You know what I mean? But it kind of felt like that was what he was doing.
GameStop trading up right now, mediocre 17 cents at 23.39. I'm going to turn off the audio and put the ticker back up. I see we have a question in the chat, a good question. Are we expecting any dilution post earnings? Mediocre, are you expecting any dilution? We're at $23.
No, not unless the stock substantially runs up.
That's my exact same answer. Unless the price moves up close to $30, I'm not expecting any dilution. I could be completely wrong. It just doesn't make sense for them to dilute to me at this price level. It's too close to what I don't know that I've ever communicated to you guys on YouTube what my fair value analysis is for GameStop. I think I've talked to the Discord folks about it ad nauseum.
I think Ryan Cohen believes this is kind of roughly fair value area.
Yeah, I actually think we're very close to a fair value if you factor in the potential of the cash and the potential of Bitcoin. So it wouldn't make sense to sell shares at $23, in my opinion. If it runs up 30, 35, 40, 60, it would make sense to sell shares. Absolutely. And you should expect that. But down here, no, I don't think so. And the other thing that I saw that I responded to on Twitter today, someone was asking, should Ryan Cohen buy back shares with the cash? And I did some rough calculations. If he spent $500 million of his cash to buy back shares at 23.13, you can calculate the yield on that by looking at the reduction in shares outstanding, the increase in earnings per share, and just rough, 5-second back of the napkin calculations I did was about a 5% yield if he spent money buying back shares. And it doesn't matter the amount that he spends, 500 million, 2 billion, it's about a 5% yield. If the price were to drop to $19 and he was to buy back shares, now you're looking at about a 6% yield. So the return back to shareholders, 5 to 6%. I think, this is just my opinion, that he has some plans for that cash that are going to yield more than 5 or 6%. So my best guess is do not expect share buybacks. It would be a poor use of cash, in my opinion, at these price levels. Now, if the price dropped all the way back down to $10, now you got a different story. You got a much higher yield to investors by using the cash to do share buybacks if it were to ever trade at $10. But I do not expect share buybacks, and I do not expect dilution. We'll find out in less than an hour.
40 minutes. 40 minutes, Tony.
40 minutes to go. Jeffrey says, what are earnings estimates? Let me put it up on the screen here, Jeffrey. So I have the analyst here are forecasting. This is Michael Pachter, we'll go to quarterly, 830 million, 16 cents. Even if he is right on 830 million, I don't think he's going to be right on 16 cents. I think that's too low. And I've already gone over that with you guys on the calculator here. If I put 832 million in, and I have a very pessimistic SG&A, let's say same percentage as last quarter, SG&A 31.14. I still come up with 28 cents right here. So I don't know where he's getting 16 cents. But if we further look at Yahoo, the analyst Michael Pachter here, 823. I don't know where these other numbers are coming from since there's only one analyst. Where's 746 and 900 coming from? I don't know. But the range of EPS estimates are 12 cents to 19. Seems low to me. Seems low to me. But like I said, I don't think that Michael Pachter is factoring in any, I think he's got very pessimistic expectations for a DCF model. And I think he's not giving any value to the Bitcoin. So my model accounts for things that I think he is not accounting for. That calculator that we're looking at. I do have DCF models in the calculator that will get you to a price similar to what he has. This is the DCF model. I think it's over here. Yeah. So I have done videos on this. If you want to run through that, go watch those videos. I'm not going to bore you with this today, but those do get you to look, $13. There are ways where you can use finance math to understand what Michael Pachter is looking at. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it. I just provided those videos for you guys that are wondering how the fuck are they coming up with 1350. Well, I mean, you could use finance math and come up with that number, but you must have very pessimistic expectations. And most of us that are speculating on GameStop are not being that pessimistic. So who will be right? Like Keith Gill said, I don't know. It's an interesting point of debate and discussion. We'll find out. I don't make predictions on GameStop. It's not stable enough for me, and I don't like being wrong. You guys give me inputs. I can tell you what the output is likely to be. I am not smart enough to figure out with any high degree of certainty what the revenue and SG&A are going to be. And I know there's a lot of people that like to guess it, and that is totally fine, but they run a high risk of being wrong. And for those that have massively optimistic guesses, I hope you're all correct. Hope you're correct. Dink says he forgot to remove Canada. Yeah, Dink, I also had that on my tabs here to show you guys. So there are some things we could look at by segment. This was last quarter. Net sales in Canada, 38 million, net loss, 22 million. And if we look at the quarter a year ago, net sales for Canada, 37 million, net loss, 3 million. Is that right? Yeah. So Canada is removed for this quarter. You should expect some net sales decline, but you should also expect profitability to increase, right? We can see that. The other thing that we got to factor in, all right, net sales is going to go down because Canada is removed. Net sales are going to go down because hardware, other consoles went down. Did Switch 2 increase enough to offset for these things? That is what I'm waiting to find out. Cross fingers. Do you guys, are you on the same page with me? Are you tracking these same things too? Like we're going to have a net sales decline from Canada, which should negatively impact revenue, but positively impact the bottom line. We got hardware sales of other consoles going down. That's data out there, which we can confirm, but Switch 2 provided a big boost in this quarter. Is it enough to offset the other hardware in Canada? It's going to be a fascinating data point. Kenneth says institutions are loading heavily on GameStop. Are there any unusual whale call options expiring this week? I don't recall, Kenneth, but yeah, there have been institutions loading up on GameStop. I did a video on that about 3 weeks ago. The institutional ownership over the last 12 months is, I think my video said it doubled in the last 12 months. I did not go back. I saw these knuckleheads. Tony doesn't understand. He's forgetting about the forward split. I didn't say anything about 2 or 3 years ago, you knuckleheads. I'm looking at the institutional ownership on Fintel in the last 12 months. It doubled. It had nothing to do with the split. And normally what I look at is, well, was the company diluting? Were they just rebalancing their position? No, they really weren't diluting in the last 12 months. This was just pure buying. Neil, what's up? Neil says, Ryan Cohen said on Fox Business, if they want to keep giving GME billions for 0% interest, then he will continue to take it. It's a smart play, Neil. It's a smart play for GameStop. And I agree with Ryan Cohen's statement 100%. Why wouldn't you? I would be okay with the company raising some more money through the sale of 0% convertible bonds, because that increases this potential that I'm so excited about. It might be in the short term negative to shareholders because you're going to have a whole nother round of hedging going on. But if GameStop were able to load up another $2 billion in cash, interest free, now you got $10.5 billion in cash and $500 million in Bitcoin. The more cash they have, the more potential they have to do something interesting in terms of an investment or an acquisition. They could also do investments and acquisitions with stock. But we'll see. This is all from the bond traders that I've talked to, all those negotiations about what is the interest rate, what is the conversion price, what is the amount they'd be willing to buy. All of those negotiations happen before the bond deal gets even announced. GameStop kind of knows before we know about it. They know how much they can sell. They know that the bondholders are okay with 0% because of the volatility. Now the volatility has kind of been wrung out of the play. So I'm not expecting any new convertible bonds, but I'd be okay if they were to sell some. We've had very low volatility for the last several months since June. Mediocre, are you still around? What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, I was on the phone. Sorry about that. You hear me?
Yeah. We used to have these wild swings in GameStop from $19 to 30. I got 2 of them here on the chart. That's high volatility. That's a beautiful scenario for bondholders to be in. Right now we've got June, July, August, September, 4 months of very low volatility. I don't know if he'd be able to sell more 0% convertible bonds. I guess maybe we'll find out.
We're going to find out, Tony.
We're going to find out together, Mediocre.
In 30 minutes.
And I'm okay with whatever they decide to do. I think that management is not here to deliver anybody a short squeeze. They're here to provide long-term success to long-term investors. So it is up to us to be intelligent about when we buy, and then have the right time frame. And so as I'm buying GameStop, I'm kind of thinking, what could they do from here? How do I minimize my risk getting the lowest possible buys? And do I believe that they are making the necessary changes to to improve operational profitability? Yes. I mean, we've seen evidence of that over the last year. I think that they've made the hard decisions. I think that the company appears to be pivoting to operational profitability. Even Ryan Cohen said that they would only be operationally profitable from here. I'll take him at his word. And that's an exciting time to be thinking about investing in GameStop. And then the bet really becomes, what are they going to do with this cash?
I mean, he really changed my mind, Tony, when he went on, I think it was CNBC, and he was talking about GameStop on there. And that was the first time he came out and he kind of gave any kind of guidance or information, you know?
The Fox interview is even better than the CNBC one, though.
Which one was it? I don't remember which one I watched.
He did the CNBC one in the morning, and then he did Liz Clayman later in the day.
It was the one where he was talking to shareholders, basically saying shorts should basically not short because they're underestimating, you know, what he's.
Well, he said let them short.
Yeah, he didn't.
He doesn't care. I think he knows he has a plan mediocre.
Yeah, I think so, and he doesn't want it out.
And I think there will. Look, you guys don't have to agree with me if you're bearish and you're just listening in. I know there's a lot of them. I see them out there on social media. They think Cohen's dumb or whatever. I do not think that. I think he has a plan, or he's working on a plan. It might be a while. It might be a year before you find out what he does with that cash. You should be prepared mentally just to hang out here.
Yeah, I don't know what he's up to, but, you know, it was the first time he actually talked, said anything, any kind of information at all was, and it kind of changed my mind. I wish he would, you know, talk more about what their plan is, right? At least give some forward guidance.
I think mediocre that they haven't been able to give forward guidance because they're not done cleaning up operationally. And once they get to the point where they're like, okay, we're at a stopping point. We don't need to cut anymore. We can predict what revenues and operating profits are going to be. I think once they get to that point, maybe they start providing some guidance. Why would you want to provide guidance when the only news is bad news?
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years.
Sense. You know, we used to say, we wish Adam Aaron would shut up, remember?
Yeah. I mean, it's okay with me that he's been quiet because they've been at work in the back room cleaning shit up. That's fine. But you can't also, and many people are okay with him being quiet, but you can't also then go on and say, well, why won't more analysts cover this stock? It does not work that way. Like if you say, I love that Ryan Cohen's quiet, and then tell me, I don't understand why analysts aren't covering this stock, I would say you don't understand Wall Street.
Yeah, maybe it was the Charles Payne interview I've seen. I don't remember which one it was.
Kitty Cowboy, howdy. What's up, amigo? Dink says, Ryan Cohen has said as much, done fixing the business now, and time to go to the next step. I think, look, as soon as GameStop starts providing some forward guidance or they announce some use of the cash, you will see Wall Street analysts start covering this stock, and quite likely a revaluation of the business. But people aren't willing to cover it when there's no guidance because they're just guessing like we are. We're all guessing.
Speculating, Tony.
Speculation. I like speculation. It's not for everybody. The meltdowners hate, you know, if I ever interact with them, they're like, why do you even like GameStop? What's your thesis? I'm like, it's speculation. But that's risky, Tony. Yes, it's risky. It might not be for you. That's fine. I'm not trying to sell you on buying GameStop. If you want me to sell you on a ticker, let's talk about some value plays.
This is the other part, right? Not that there's no money in guaranteed plays, but it's a lot harder to make money dollar for dollar in a kind of guaranteed play without any speculation. You know what I mean? It's just there's dollar for dollar, there's not as much gain as you could get from speculating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I look at it that way, right? I speculate almost every day. A lot of the stocks I'm in are speculation.
We lost the stream for a minute. Are we still live?
I think we're live, yeah.
Neil says, Tony, why do you think there has been little to no mention of power packs? Because it's still in beta, Neil. It's not been broadly available to the public yet. So maybe that changes once they blast it out to everybody. What do you think? And I'm curious, honestly, why are they taking so long to push it out to everybody? What do y'all think? All right, I'm going to end this poll. I asked, will GME go up or down after earnings? 61% of you are betting that it will go up. Neil, I love watching people pull cards live online. I search and watch all of these folks that are doing it. I'm still waiting on my invite to the beta thing. I don't know if I would gamble on buying any cards or not online, but the website looks great for card traders or gamblers. It's I think a well done website. I'm excited. Maybe they'll announce that it's going live for this Q3 for March, April, May, June, July, August. We're 9 days into September. I'd like to see a full Q3 of power packs live. We're 9 days into the quarter. Let's go, Ryan. Let's get this news out that power packs is rolling out. That'd be a great addition to today's news, I think. Don't you, Mediocre?
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely help push the price up.
Neil says, I think if it was a nothing burger, they would have killed it in the news. It's a strong website. It looks well done. I think it's going to bring in a lot of revenue for GameStop.
I mean, if he says he's going live all in Q3 on it, you know, that's going to be bullish. That's forward looking. You know what I'm saying?
That gives us something to add to the speculation about increasing revenues.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So we're going to add that to our list of things we'd like to hear today. Power packs going live for everybody.
God bless you.
They always come in threes, Mediocre.
You gonna make it or what?
All right. GameStop trading up 0.5%, 23.34. If you didn't tune in earlier when we started the stream, I was expecting GameStop to be pushing 25, 29, 30 by today, but that didn't happen. So now we wait and see. I think the smart money numbers are I saw this morning were saying it's a $2 swing to the positive or negative is the market expectation based on today's news. So that would be 25.30 to 21.30. We'll see what happens. We're going to find out in less than 20 minutes. Thank you, Chris. Chris says, blank you. Blank you. Bless you. A lot of people are probably saying blank you. I hear that a lot, Mediocre. Blank you, Tony Denaro.
Yeah. You deserve it. That's why.
You dirty dog. Anthony says, what is your game plan with GameStop? My normal game plan, Anthony, is I I said in my video that I normally sell right before the quarter end. What I meant to say is I normally sell moments before the earnings call. And most quarterly earnings, that has been a good plan, because quite often right after earnings, it tanks. I am thinking that this quarter, that might not be the best plan. I'm thinking that they're going to beat. And I don't think that the price is at a point right now where Ryan Cohen is going to dilute or sell more convertible bonds. Not enough price. The price is not high enough to dilute, not enough volatility to sell more bonds. So my bet, this is my gamble, is that there's more of a chance that the price will go up after hours today. Will I be right? I don't know. Someone asked earlier, is Ryan Cohen going to have any comments in the webcast today? I don't think there is a webcast today. Did I miss something? GameStop announced a release date on 8/26. There's no news here about an earnings call or a webcast. I'd love to have one again. But we'll hang out with you guys. We'll hang out with you until they announce the news.
15 minutes, Tony.
15 minutos. Damas y caballeros. Vamos a ver.
You got the SEC website open?
Sí.
Sí, señor.
Está abierto.
The market came back and then it's taking a little bit of a dip. What's going on with that?
Jim says when they do have webcasts, all they do is read the press release, then nope out. Yeah. If you don't have anything more to say than the press release and you're not going to take analyst questions, then I guess no point in having a webcast. But I think at the point that they start announcing webcasts again, the bulls will be loose, mediocre.
You should give everybody a run through on how to work this site here, Tony.
Which one? SEC Edgar?
Yeah.
Kitty Cowboy says, vamos a ver qué onda, señor. ¿Qué onda? SEC Edgar, one of our most visited sites, wouldn't you say, mediocre?
Absolutely.
The starting point, really, of any analysis on any new ticker or any ticker that you're invested in would be something like Yahoo Finance, the summary page, or stockanalysis.com to get a summary, the overview, the financials. But SEC Edgar, you can just type in your ticker. You can see, I have a bot set up in the Discord. If you guys are in the Discord, anytime a filing drops, the bot will post it in there. So make sure you're checking that bot room in the Discord. And if there's a ticker that enough people are really interested in, I can always add more of them. That way we don't even need to check the website. The bot just says, hey, new filing. And we can pull it up right there in the Discord. But we get our 8K updates. We get our prospectus updates here on the SEC website. These are all direct from the company. We get 10Qs and 10Ks. We get proxy statements. You can pull them up and go back in history, even as far as you want. The other things you can look at on this website would be, if you just want to sort for annual and quarterly reports, you can go over here to the right, and it just has those. That way you don't got to wade through all this nonsense on the left side. The other thing that you could look over here, 8Ks, boom, sort. You could look at proxies. You could look at ownership filings, what the insiders are doing, or if a big institution announced a position, those will be here in beneficial ownership. But yeah, great tool to use to have on your favorites tabs in your browser, sec.gov/Edgar. Who is Edgar? I forget what Edgar stands for.
I don't remember.
I'm sure it explains it somewhere. Anywho, I don't know. I don't recall the answer to that question. GameStop 23.44 up now almost 1%. Let's go. Anthony says, I don't think Ryan will tell us anything. Yeah, I don't think so. Squishmallow says, stock analysis also has SEC filings on the profile tab. That is a good point. Thank you for the reminder. If you go to overview, you can pull up press releases from the company or from the company, and somewhere on here, you are correct. Oh, profile. There are the SEC filings. Thank you for the reminder on that. That is a good point. Stockanalysis.com, great website. One thing just to keep in mind, and I don't know if you guys know this, but on GameStop, in any company, there are different data sources. Stock analysis is a data consolidator, and S&P Global is one data source. NASDAQ is another. You will get different results with GameStop depending on what you pull in here. I will tell you from personal experience, if you want the exact numbers from GameStop's filings, set your data source to NASDAQ. If you want an interpreted, massaged numbers, leave it on S&P. S&P is the default. It will not match exactly what GameStop reports. NASDAQ does. I'm going to point out one difference here, like operating margin when we use the NASDAQ numbers, trailing 12 months, 0.37%. If we switch to S&P, operating margin is 1.58%. So, of course, the YouTubers are only going to ever show you the S&P, but these numbers do not match GameStop's numbers. This NASDAQ does match what GameStop reports. YouTubers won't show up because A, you got to pay to get the multiple data sources, and B, the story is not quite as good. I dare them, mediocre, to show the real numbers. But they won't. They won't. It's just good for you guys to know that there's multiple data sets, even on something like stock analysis.
What are our analysts on GameStop saying?
They are saying I don't even want to talk about their price forecast.
Oh, you don't have to. I already seen it. You can just.
I'm going to say that their price forecast is not a price forecast. It's a fair value analysis.
Yeah. I could see it.
And I wish they just relabel it. I wish Michael Pachter would say, I don't have a price forecast because I don't know what Ryan Cohen's going to do with the cash, but based on current data and a DCF model, my fair value analysis is $13.50. I wish he would just say that, because this is not a price forecast for GameStop. There's too much speculative value above $13.50. But their revenue, they're saying $832 mediocre, and they're saying 16 cents EPS. Year over year, that's a 312% increase. Not too shabby.
That's good.
Not too shabby. I think it's going to be even better beat than that. I'll be disappointed if I'm incorrect. I think 28 cents, 32 cents is not out of the realm of possibility.
Would you have for revenue growth?
I don't forecast revenue for GameStop. It's impossible for me. when they're closing stores, mediocre.
How's this guy doing it?
He has access to more data and more people than I do. He works for Wedbush.
I got you. $13.50 seems ridiculous to me. Yeah, all these analysts have people to talk to, mediocre. You just got me and you and Rolf.
Yeah, I just got myself and Scarlett and you.
We ain't going nowhere fast, Tony.
I did not play Octo, Anthony. I wish I did. I wish I did. What's Octo at today? I'm going to look into it and maybe do a video tonight or tomorrow. $40 bucks.
Kenneth Matthew posts, he says, GameStop officially accepts iPhone trade-ins, according to an Instagram post by the reseller on September 9th. The announcement concedes the Apple's unveiling of the new iPhone Air. That's interesting.
I thought they already took phone trade-ins, Kenneth.
No, I don't think they did. Not that I know of.
Because remember when TikTok was going to get banned, mediocre? They said, bring your phone in. If you've got TikTok on it, we'll buy it back. And it was all just a marketing ploy because they didn't care about the TikTok app on the phone. They were just trying to get people to bring their phones in.
Maybe they were planning on that. Maybe he's going to get into the phone game. That's not.
You guys that follow GameStop even closer than I do, tell me, am I wrong?
There's a lot of money in phones, Tony.
GameStop already took phone trade-ins. Tell me if I'm wrong. Anthony says a beat doesn't mean GameStop will go up. That's true, Anthony. There's no guarantee. GME Squishmallow says he's predicting 34 to 37 cents. That'd be beautiful. Neil says they've taken phone for years and he's turned his in there. All right. Neil says that I am correct.
So what's GameStop doing with these phones? I never even knew that.
I think it's more about
research on this.
Mediocre. I think it's more about giving you some store credit so you can buy some merch while you're there.
They're not doing it for nothing. Some phones are worth money.
Yeah, I'm sure they give you a really low price and then they resell the phone for a small profit, but they're more interested in having you in the store to give you some store credit and have you buy some shit at their store. It's all just to get you to come in.
Do you want you to buy a GameStop hat? I'm wicked. Yeah.
5 minutes, mediocre. Should we put on the helmets?
I got mine if you want to. It's over here somewhere.
Mine's over here on the shelf.
In case I ever need it again, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In case we're gonna launch, Tony, I got it handy.
Rockets incoming, mediocre. We're going to the moon.
Looks like Weeble's getting ready for takeoff, so I might need the helmet soon.
Let me see what some of my other favorite stocks are doing this morning. All the cinema stocks are down. Cinemark's down, Dolby's down, IMAX is down, AMC's down. The SPY is up about 0.25%. Bitcoin's at 111. What else we got here? Railtown.
I'm positive on Railtown, Tony.
Railtown's at 43 cents.
No, it's not. It's at 45.
What? I'm seeing 43.7.
No, showing me 45.50.
Huh.
Almost 46 cents.
Well,
profitable, buddy.
Let's go.
Aspen.
Are you paying for real-time OTC quotes? I don't have real-time OTC quotes on my Weeble. Got a 15-minute delay.
Oh, I have it automatically with Charles Schwab.
All right. So
Yeah, I'm with Charles Schwab, Tony.
yeah. Well, I have Schwab and Thinkorswim too, but I don't use it for the live stream.
But keep using Weeble. Thank you, by the way, for using Weeble. All of you, I appreciate you. You keep using Weeble.
Mediocre is heavily invested in bull.
Gus says it's almost hold my beer time.
Why do you like Chinese companies, Mediocre?
Weeble is not a Chinese company. It's not.
I just like spinning you up there.
I know you did it on purpose. We had this conversation earlier, which is funny. So the thing is, Weeble was a Chinese company when it was privately owned, but this is the thing. It went public, so the owners of the company are shareholders and investors, right? And they're based out of the Cayman Islands. Is that
Cayman? Yep.
So, and the CEO, I believe he's American. So that right there tells me it's not a Chinese-owned company. Do the Chinese hold some positions in it? Probably so, but it's not a Chinese company anymore. It's a publicly traded company. That's what I can say.
That was a massive run up on IPO day. Look at that, up from $10 to $80. Now it's trading at $13.50. Analysts have about a $18 price target for Weeble?
That's a brand new $18 price target on Weeble.
If you decide that you're going to start covering it, Mediocre, I might cover it with you.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to. I don't know where to start yet. I'm debating on where. So I have some really funny, pumpy kind of thumbnails I'm thinking of. I don't want to give them away on here, but so I'm definitely going to make a couple because I think it's funny, and the thumbnails will be funny.
Well, I might ride some Weeble with you, but I got to let this Railtown deal go through.
Railtown is, I'm actually happy with that at the moment. I'm surprised I'm up.
I think we're going to be happy.
I'm going to pull it up right now and see where it's at. RLAIF.
Jim says Weeble was founded by a guy named Wong from Alibaba. I thought his name was Les Grohl.
Yeah, it closed at 44.
Oh, market's closed. Market's closed. All right. Let's put up the 1 minute on GameStop.
Yeah, 45.50 is saying it closed at Railtown.
All right.
Cents.
What's today? Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. We got 3 days left this week to see if they announce anything this week or not. All right. Drum roll time.
All right. Well, what do we got?
I've got the investor relations site here. They should post it here about the same time the news drops, but we'll know the news drops the second you see this price really move. What do they typically? It takes them about 10 minutes, right?
Yeah. We're always late. Retail always is late to get the money, to get the news, the money, the news. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know, once they put it out, these algorithms already got it figured out and they're already trading the stock. It's like annoying.
It's because the computers can read the freaking press release in about 0.3 milliseconds, Mediocre. Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
$24.50. Hang on, I need to recalibrate my screen here. Let's see if we got any news drop yet.
Right there. No.
Yeah, discloses second quarter results. All right. Page not found. Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's the part that annoys the crap out of me. The stock price already freaking moved, right? And I don't even have the report yet. That drives me nuts, dude.
What is this? I don't know. They say they released it, but I can't find the damn link that works. Motherfuckers.
Oh.
That's typical with mediocre. Typical with GameStop mediocre. You get these weird candles and then they go all over the place. We need some freaking news we can read.
I know.
Jeffrey says, I'm guessing he got this from Twitter or somewhere. Q2 results, revenue 972. That's way higher than we were anticipating. Gross profit 283, net income 66. All right, here we go. Net sales were 972. SG&A 218. That's a healthy improvement on the SG&A. Operating income 66 million. Very nice. Net income 168. When we add in the interest income and Bitcoin, I imagine. Bitcoin holdings were valued at 528 million. Cash and cash equivalents 8.7 billion. Very, very nice. All right, let's put these numbers in the spreadsheet real quick, and let's just see how accurate it was. 972. Oops. And SG&A 218. And they got that number way down. %.
It's trading at 24.50 right now.
My net income number is too high. Gross margin must have been lower than 34%. Let's go back and look. What's it trading at now, mediocre?
It's come down trading at 24.10.
Gross margin looks like it was 29%. Is that what y'all are coming up with? Yeah, that gives us operating income of 62 million. I think that's about what they reported, right? 66. Net income was 168.
They're issuing warrants, Tony, according to the chat.
All right. Let's see, mediocre.
$23.95. Bouncing around.
Why would they issue warrants?
No, that came from the chat. So Dan said that. Dan Burt.
Where are you seeing that news, Dan? Oh, yeah. GameStop announces dividend of warrant. Oh, it's a dividend, mediocre, to shareholders. Well, that I like. You will receive 1 warrant for every 10 shares. Company expects to distribute 559 million warrants. That makes sense because the diluted shares outstanding, including the convertible bonds, is 590 million. So that's where this 59 million warrants came from. If you're wondering why that number is so high compared to the shares outstanding, it makes perfect sense when we consider fully diluted shares. Each warrant will entitle the holder to purchase 1 share of GameStop at an exercise price of 32. It's kind of like if you worked for GameStop, mediocre, and they granted you stock options with a exercise price of $32, saying if this company does well, then you have this benefit sitting out there. Are the warrants tradable? That is the question. I'm trying to speed read here. Yep, they will be tradable. So if you don't want to hang on for GameStop to hit $32, you will be able to sell the warrants. The ticker symbol is going to be GMEWS. For each 10 shares held as of the record date of October 3rd, mediocre. All right. Well,
We're down to $23.85.
That's a cool little distribution for shareholders who think the price is going up over $32. If it never trades over 32, they tried. Chris says, was my buy just before the close sound? I mean, the results just operationally, Chris, are spectacular. So I don't see the price getting pushed down. We got a lot of people in the chat. We got a lot of people with different opinions. Does anybody see anything bearish in this news? I'm talking about the operations. Profit margins got pushed down a little bit. Okay, whatever. SG&A got pushed down also. %22 of net sales. Net sales, 972 million. That's phenomenal results. The warrants is kind of like it's a don't care. Is my first reaction, because they're not really, there'll be some value to you. You could sell them, but the real value is that, you'd have to hold them for the stock to go over $32 to make any additional profit. I was saying, based on my model, that I was expecting EPS to be around 34 cents. It came in at 38 cents basic, 31 cents diluted. Remember, the difference between these two numbers is basic EPS is the current shares outstanding weighted 447. I had guessed that it would be at 543, so my number is way off. 447. Why is it? No, 447 seems too low. Diluted earnings per share of 546. I'm going to have to go in and check my own math, because this does not seem correct. 447 is the current shares that, the company also has the ability to decide what shares they count in diluted earnings per share. So perhaps they did not count one of the bonds. At any rate, the diluted earnings per share includes some of the bonds, not all of them, or otherwise it'd be 590. And that's why you have two different EPS here, 38 and 31.
24.19, Tony.
I like it. I like it. Up 2%. We were predicting about a potential of a $2 move, mediocre. So 23.61. It got there for a moment, 25.17. Fidget Spinner says, what is this? Expects to raise 1.9 billion in proceeds about? I don't know. Was that, where was that? Oh, is that in the warrants? The transaction provides GameStop shareholders the option to participate in the company's capital raising on a non-dilutive basis. If exercised, the warrants are expected to generate 1.9 billion of gross proceeds, because you have to pay $32 a share times 59 million warrants. So that should be the 1.9 billion of proceeds, right? 59 million times 32 bucks. 1.9 billion.
Yep.
Now, obviously, if GameStop's trading at 23 bucks, 24, 25, no one's going to exercise their warrant and pay $32. Well, a couple of GameStop YouTubers might, mediocre, because they just want to help the company out. But anyone with common sense is not going to exercise their warrant at 32 bucks when the stock's trading at 23, 24, 25. Over time, if the company improves earnings to the point where the stock is revalued and the price moves up over 32 bucks, let's say it goes to 34, 35, 40, you exercise your warrant, you buy the shares at 32, you're in an instant profit. You could hold them or you could sell them at a profit. In that process, GameStop will generate additional capital raise up to $1.9 billion, but the price must go over 32 really for them to see that happen. It's a good plan. I mean, if you got a bunch of shareholders that believe in the company, you dangle this out there. If management does a good job of increasing the company's earnings, it's a win-win for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's not really detrimental. And for people that believe that Ryan Cohen's going to do something smart and drive up fair value of the company, it provides you an incentive to hang on, mediocre.
Carl Johnson, you missed it. He sold at 25.18 when it peaked.
25.17. No,
I did live when he did it.
No.
I'm sorry, Tony. I had to. That was funny.
No, I don't know if you watched my video over the weekend, Carl. I said, I think, normally I sell right before the earnings call or the earnings announcement, like 2 minutes before the market closes. But I said, I think this time is a time to be patient because we expect a real beat. We expect that Wall Street would be majorly off on their earnings expectations and that the probability was that the stock would go up after hours. So far, it's only up a marginal amount, but up is good. These earnings were way better than most of our expectations.
All right, Tony, I'm going to let you deal with this. I got to make a phone call because I got to deal with this thing we talked about earlier.
Now that we have the numbers, mediocre, I think I'm going to go ahead and wind down the broadcast anyways, because I haven't eaten since breakfast.
Oh boy.
But let's see what fidget. So yeah, go ahead. I might still be here for a minute, but I've had like 4 cups of coffee and no food, so
All right.
I'm not going to be here much longer.
If we're
Fidget
done, we're
spinner.
done.
All right. Fidget spinner says, I know you don't want to, but put your tin hat on for a minute. If there are synthetic shares or swaps, there's almost certainly swaps. Fidget spinner, no tin hat needed, and there's probably synthetic shares too. I showed you guys how to create your own synthetic share years ago with the options position. That is a synthetic share. That's how the Yield Max ETF for GameStop trades. They sell covered calls and they hedge the call with a synthetic share. Synthetic share just means you hold options that mirror the price action of the underlying ticker. You go long a call and short a put, I think. So yeah, there's definitely synthetic shares. It doesn't mean like what Lou used to tell you guys about they have a second set of books. That is someone weaving you a bunch of nonsense. But there's synthetic shares, there's swaps too. If those exist, could this warrant issue cause a whole lot of trouble for them? No, I don't think so. Moiki says, how off were Wall Street? They were off huge. They were off by the earnings per share doubled what Pachter had been predicting. It was very close to what I had been predicting based off of using his revenue number. I was saying it looked like it could come in around 32, 34 cents, maybe 28 on the downside. And they came in way higher than that. Net sales were high. Gross margins went down a little bit, but SG&A was dropped. So we had an operating income of 66 million plus interest plus Bitcoin. Great numbers. Kenneth says, what could happen to the stock price tomorrow morning? I just don't see, Kenneth. We got to see what other news comes out, if any, from GameStop. We got the earnings release. We got the warrants. I think it's very hard for people to weave a negative story on this. I don't know why they would beat the price down. So if you're asking me what is likely to happen, seems pretty bullish to me. Now, granted, I need to spend a few minutes reading through all of this and inputting the actual numbers into my spreadsheet. Collectibles were 23% of net sales. And last quarter, they were what? Let me unhide these rows. Last quarter, they were 24.5%. This quarter, they were 23%. So, I mean, they held. Hardware last quarter was 40%. We got a little boost with Switch 2. It was 60% this quarter. I think, if you were using common sense, that you would expect hardware sales to go up. This was much higher than I was expecting. 972. Total net sales, beautiful. 140 million more than Michael Pachter had expected. That guy needs to be sent behind the schoolyard and whipped. Anthony says, is GameStop a business that can last in time? I don't know. I don't know either, Anthony. They drove down SG&A as a percentage of net sales. I think the talking point from the bears is going to be, they're going to say this: Switch 2 sales was a one-time thing. Now we need to see Q3. All right. Fair enough. But Ryan, unleash the hounds, Ryan. Unleash that power pack for Q3, Ryan. If Switch 2 sales are going to go down and hardware sales are going to go down, unleash the hounds with the power pack. Make it available to everybody. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that announcement drop this week also. Anthony says, is the business, the business is profitable, Anthony. The balance sheet is fine. The only real question is, what are the margins going to look like? And what is the valuation going to be? Let's see if they've updated this shit yet with Q2. Not yet. All right, so we got the numbers. The numbers look great. The stock market seems to like it. Price is in the green, $24. People that were telling you it was going to be rockets, you know, look, that's why I don't do GameStop predictions. I don't like hopium thumbnails. I don't like hopium hype, emotions. Just use common sense. The numbers were good. Be happy about that. You got a bonus warrant if the stock price ever gets over 32. That's good news. Switch 2 sales were good. Companies doing the right things. All you got to do is be patient. Detach from the nonsense, the knuckleheads. Look at the financials, fundamentals. Do you believe in GameStop continuing to drive for operational profitability? Do you believe that Ryan Cohen is going to do something smart with the cash? Then, you know, you're probably going to be okay. I've got to head out and get some food in my belly, and then I'll read through the whole 10Q. I'll update my spreadsheet with the actuals. I'll try and get a recap video out, and we can have a chat again soon. So let's go ahead and call it a day. Thank you, guys.
Up and to the right.
Hello, millionaires. Short squeeze plays where fortunes flip. GameStop's journey, an epic trip. From humble roots to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Ready warriors, keyboards in hand. With their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Hedge funds trembling, Kenny's in shock. GameStop stock, you'll never stop. From diamond hands to rocket ships, we're not selling, we buy every dip. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. Up and to the right, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Up and to the right, molasses in sight. Billions in cash on the balance sheet. We will win even if they cheat. Dilute us more, we don't care. Book value grows with every share. The doubters say it can't be done, but the retail army we've already won. With every share we'll never stop. Investors say we love the stock. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right. Up and to the right. We're in for the ride. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right.
Surprise!
We're gonna win.